Coming up on this edition of Mustangs Corner, we talk to the Director of Equity, Inclusion, and Multicultural Affairs, Dr. Syreeta Greene. We'll be discussing MSU Texas Dream Week and the upcoming programming at the Center for Multicultural Affairs and Community. Stay with us for more. Welcome to a new edition of Mustangs Corner. I am Tyler Manning. Today we have with us Dr. Syreeta Greene, Director of Equity, Inclusion, and Multicultural Affairs. Thank you for being with us here, Dr. Greene.
Absolutely.
So our first question that we wanted to talk about today was, how was this year for the Center of Multicultural Affairs? Are there any specific successes that you'd like to talk about with last semester or just the overall academic year?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation. The Center for Multicultural Affairs and Community, as you may know, falls under the umbrella of the Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Multicultural Affairs. And so it's a space where students can come and hang out and study and be able to meet and greet with one another. And we have snacks and whatnot. But we also have programming meant to support underrepresented students on campus, as well as historically marginalized student populations. And much of our programming is geared towards helping to make those connections around cultural identity, cultural awareness, and cultural competence. So in terms of successes, in terms of programming, we were able to launch our Barbershop Talk series and our Sister to Sister series programs that gave students the opportunity to come together and talk about issues that specifically impact people of color, more specifically, but also a space where they can find support, where they can find connection and build a network. For our barbershop talks, one of the other successes with that is we actually have real barbers who are donating their time to give young men haircuts, which can sometimes be very difficult to find in the city of Wichita Falls. So we're excited that that has been a consistent or consistent programs that have continually occurred over the course of this year.
That's great. And where is this held again, these barbershop talks?
Yeah, so barbershop talks and Sister to Sister happen every other Monday at 7 p.m. It starts actually for this semester on Monday, January 28th, and then it will be every other Monday after that. So students can find information on our website or on our social media, and then we also have flyers posted around campus.
All right. Well, certainly that's a great way for students of color and people of color who don't have access to that to get a haircut and to talk about issues. So that
Absolutely.
sounds awesome. So this week we commemorated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and coming off that is Dream Week at MSU Texas with a unity walk and a wreath laying. And talk about where the idea came for Dream Week.
Sure. So there was a meeting that occurred between myself and leaders of the Student Government Association, and what your student leaders wanted to be able to do to kick off the spring 2019 semester was send a message of unity and inclusion and equity throughout the campus, especially coming off the cusp of a semester in which we had a number of different flyers posted around campus supporting hate messages or groups that support these hate messages. And so there was a bit of stir in different parts of the campus community. And so the student leaders really wanted to set a different tone and a different message on campus and remind students and the campus community of who we are and what we wanted to be. So it was a joint and collaborative effort to be able to put on Dream Week and really promote and celebrate and remember what Dr. King and others fought for during the Civil Rights Movement.
And so this idea of unity has come up a lot and there's a lot of discord going on in our country right now. Talk about what unity means to our campus community and overall to the campus climate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, unity is important for us to think beyond uniformity, right? It's not meant to say that we're all the same and there's nothing that is unique and special and different about each of us, but to say that within those differences, we are able to come together and support the same values that are important to us, and work towards improving the campus community in a way that everyone feels included as part of the Mustang family.
And what values do you want to see brought to the events on campus?
I think in general, I would really like to see students move beyond the we're polite and I don't say anything mean to folks, and really take the opportunity to explore, to develop in-depth relationships with other students, particularly students who may be different than themselves, to engage in opportunities that may sometimes feel uncomfortable, but at the end of the day will allow them to grow and help them to become more well-rounded individuals. Because that's part of why we go to college beyond just getting a degree or some sort of certification, right? Like we can go to any other type of organization or institution to be certified or to be able just to get a job. But if we're going to, and I tell students this all the time, if we're going to spend the time, money, and energy to go to a four-year institution, then if we want to see the biggest bang for our buck, if we want to see our time well spent, then it's incumbent upon us to engage in different activities that stretch us, that help us to grow, that give us new experiences outside the classroom.
And so talk about, and I love coming to y'all's events. They're very educational. I always feel like I leave learning something new. So talk about how students can get involved in your upcoming programming events.
Absolutely. So there's really three primary programs that are reoccurring throughout the semester. So students have various options. We have our barbershop talks and sister to sister, which I mentioned earlier. We also have our critical conversation series, which is generally geared towards faculty and staff, but students are welcome to come, where we talk about issues of diversity, equity, and student success, and making sure that as an institution we're doing the things that are necessary to support diverse communities on campus. And diversity meaning outside of just racial, ethnic diversity, but also learning disabilities, sexual orientation, immigration status, so on and so forth. So it's important that we are looking at the various different identities throughout our campus. We also have some celebratory events that students can learn more about. We're still in the planning stages, and so information will be coming out for that, especially for Black History Month. There's a number of different organizations, including our own, that will be doing programming throughout the month, as well as Women's History Month during March, and Asian History Month, which is nationally in May, but we celebrate it in April because we're not here in May. But we also are starting our cultural and advocacy councils, which are opportunities for students who want to engage in developing programming and educational programming, more specifically to benefit the campus around specific identities. So we have our cross-cultural, intercultural student council, we'll have our women's council, our Men of Color Alliance, our Latinx Student Council, Black Student Council, LGBTQ Student Council. So these are all, and then we'll also do our Asian Student Council as well too, and International Student Council. So these are all councils of groups of students who want to really engage with the office and be part of how we develop programming that really engages students on a deeper level.
Okay, and it sounds like you guys have a lot of preparation to do for the following months. We wanted to ask about, in particular, It Takes a Village, the upcoming program. Could you talk about that and its goals that it has?
Sure, that's one of our service/outreach programs that we do to support Booker T. Washington Elementary School. We have, for the past, this will be the third year that we've brought or invited a group of fifth graders from Booker T. Washington Elementary, which is located on the east side of Wichita Falls, to come to MSU and see the big college campus, and begin planting that seed that college is a probability for these young students. Many of the students who live on the east side have never come to MSU. This would be their very first time stepping foot on a college campus. And so it's a unique opportunity for them to see students who may look like them, and be inspired to really focus on their academics and be the best student that they can be.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Syreeta Greene, for coming
Absolutely.
out for this interview.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. And then, so that's it for Mustangs Corner. Thank you again, Dr. Greene, for coming, and I'm Tyler Manning. And thank you all for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter at MNG Media, and like us on Facebook. For Mustangs Corner again, I'm Tyler Manning.